Could somebody please make it make sense?
Hey everybody, welcome to A Pop of Culture. I am your host, the Esoteric and Facetious, and this is Pop of Culture, where I speak on pop culture, social justice, and the human experience from a Black, bisexual, money perspective. Any and everything I say should be taken with a grain of salt, as I'm simply a recent college grad with access to a recording device and the internet. With that being said, it shouldn't be your sole reason to critique my views unless it's truly relevant. If you disagree with anything I say, let's have a civil conversation in the comment section below. Today we're going to be talking about the Encore, BET Presents The Encore, Season 1, Episode 3. But before we get into that, I'm going to be promoting my cover channel. I have a cover channel, A Pop of Culture Sings, where I sing throwback R&B, contemporary R&B, pop music, whatever I'm feeling, whatever you're feeling. So if you want to be down like Brandy, if you're down with the click, and if you're not down with my click, RP Aaliyah, then definitely feel free to check that channel out. With that said, let's get into the topic of this video. So with episode 3, we're finally getting into the women actually recording the record. We have been told that there's going to be 5 tracks on the record, and at least 3 of them have to have all of the women on there. I'm not gonna lie, when I heard that the album was going to be 5 songs, I was a little disappointed. I get that they're gonna be here for 30 days, and 30 days counts the time that's already passed, but I feel like they could add a few interludes in there. I feel like it's more of an EP, and I've listened to EPs that are longer than this. But nonetheless, I'm excited to hear the music. So the way I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna try something different. We're gonna go through each character, each person, and talk about the things that they did that I liked or did not like in this episode. So the first person we're gonna be talking about is Miss 𝘠𝙗𝙗 of 702. So 𝘠𝙗𝙗 definitely got on my nerves this episode, and we're gonna talk about why. So 𝘠𝙗𝙗 at the beginning of the episode talks about how she's written songs for 702. She's written songs for other artists. She wrote for 702's 3rd album. And this is when Felicia and Fallon are talking about, writing and producing for the album. And at first, it seems like she's competent. She's able to do what she's going to do. And she's, probably going to, put the pen to the paper and, come up with the song. But throughout the episode, she is very avoidant. And she doesn't end up actually writing a song when it's their time in the studio instead of writing the song. And here's my thing. I get she might have been out of practice. I get that she might have, not felt as secure in her gift. But my thing is there were 2 working producers and or songwriters who were right there. And my thing is you don't get better than that. And the way they make it seem, these 2 songwriters / producers, they're people who are actually working with artists who are releasing records that are selling well. So my thing is, if it was just 𝘠𝙗𝙗 sitting in the broom closet with a pen and paper, that's one thing. But it's not only just her, it's her and the other married women, because the song that they were supposed to write was about them, their marriage, their family, their community, etc. So my thing is, 𝘠𝙗𝙗, here's what I think 𝘠𝙗𝙗 should have did. If she was feeling insecure about writing, I feel like she should have, told the producers and songwriters, hey, I'm kind of out of practice, so I have written in the past, but I would kind of like y'all support, if y'all have any ideas. Because it seemed like, I remember I think his name's Elijah. He was the one who went to the booth to sing some stuff. So I'm like, it seemed like he was trying to help them to get where they needed to be. If I was 𝘠𝙗𝙗, I would let them know, hey, I'm a little bit, insecure. I'm a little bit out of practice. So maybe you could help me out to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do. And I would also have all the women who are married who want to talk about their husbands share about that, where they say, hey, what kind of moment do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about when your husband proposed to you? Do you want to talk about how he holds it down with the kids? Because I feel like that could give each of them a verse, like a verse or a bridge. And I think also, too, they could, that's one of the things I was thinking about, since Shamari has, one of the strongest voices, I feel like Shamari could open and she could also do the bridge. There's a lot of work that could have been done without heavy lifting for 𝘠𝙗𝙗 since she's out of practice. And I hope in the next episode she's able to get some of that work done. I do get 𝘠𝙗𝙗 feeling kind of out of touch and feeling insecure because Felicia and Fallon are younger than her and they're in their element. when you're in your element and when you're actively doing something, and it's something that comes naturally to you. Like, who knows what Felicia and Fallon are going to be doing 20 years from now. But right now, they're working, they're writing songs, they're producing, so it's second nature to them, like Destiny's Child. So 𝘠𝐴𝐴 being out of practice, she's not going to necessarily be able to compare to them. And I feel like 𝘠𝐴𝐴 was on the right track when she said, well, I don't write as fast as y'all. Because that was showing, hey, y'all are doing great work, but I'm not at this stage of my life where you are right now. But I feel like her anxiety just got the best of her when she was in the booth and when she was in the studio with the rest of them. Here is where I do feel for 𝘠𝐴𝐴. 𝘠𝐴𝐴 and Irish, they did record vocals for the song Talkin', and they did really good, her and Irish. Irish, this was the best she sounded for me, and I'm really glad that the twins are really helping. And I guess Irish, too, is, showing up, and they're able to give her the best vocals, or like really pull out of the vocals that she, I guess, are always had. So shout out to Irish. A lot of us were not so sure that you could do it, but you are doing it, sis. But with Misha and Irish, I did feel for them because later on in the episode, their vocals get lost. And people were living for them. Like, everyone was hyping them up. There was, like, the teamwork. Everything was working together. So it was kind of upsetting to see them have their vocals get lost because I felt for 𝘠𝐴𝐴 because my thing is when you already feel like you're not good enough, when you already feel like people are ostracizing you, and you do something right, you get something done, and you're a part of it, and you and your sister's vocals get separated and get deleted, it has to feel personal, even if it's not. And of course, them losing her vocals makes 𝘠𝐴𝐴 even more upset. However, here's my thing that I think 𝘠𝐴𝐴 is missing. 𝘠𝐴𝐴 is not showing up to the studio and including herself. I guess she's one of those people, and I've been around people like this, and I'm sure y'all have been around people like this. There are certain people out there who literally need you to ask them to do things and act and like include them in things. For example, let's say that you're in an apartment and let's say you're watching a movie. Like, let's say that it's you and two friends from college, and then there's another person who didn't go to school with y'all, but you met them and they seem friendly enough. There's gonna be some people, let's say you're all cooking in the kitchen, and you say, let's watch a movie later tonight. There are gonna be some people who are just gonna be like, well, I was there when they're talking, we're all a part of this apartment, we're all paying rent together, we're all, a group. So I'm just gonna show up because, I'm a part of this group. And yeah, and then there's gonna be some people who literally are not gonna include themselves unless they're asked directly. And I feel like with 𝘠𝐴𝐴, the thing that is really, I feel like ruining her is she's not including herself in the studio sessions and saying, of course, now there was that one song where they wanted to do with Aubrey, but with the song like Talkin', and even when they were playing Bird's Eye View, she is missing out on valuable group experience. If you're paying attention, the twins and Keely are on better terms than they were in the beginning because they've spent time together. And when you spend time together with people, you get an understanding for each other. And I think the reason why 𝘠𝐴𝐴, part of the reason why she's acting out is because she's insecure about her talents versus the twins and other people in the group. But I think part of it is she's not sitting here learning what other people are about. She's just kind of going with this narrative of they don't think me and Irish are good enough. And it's just either I'm confronting the people who I think I'm not good enough, or I'm talking about it with other team members. But if she listened to Bird's Eye View, I feel like Bird's Eye View allowed for Irish to connect with the twins because she realized, hey, their story is similar to mine. We're all, Black females who are in R&B groups or in, like, R&B girl groups or in, well, of course, Aubrey's not Black, but, like, the women other than Aubrey were Black solo artists or Black females in R&B girl groups. And there's no secret that R&B music is not in its peak anymore. And that means that a lot of artists who were heavy in R&B did not receive the same amount of success that they did in the 90s and 2000s later on. In my opinion, at this point, most R&B music that the women who were in this group released was what, in my opinion now, would be considered a niche genre. And with R&B becoming a more niche genre, people who are incredibly talented may not get the spotlight that they deserve and the attention that they deserve because a style of music that was previously something that could top the Billboard Hot 100 with ease is not hitting those numbers anymore. And my point in saying this is the women have a lot to relate over. And just like Irish said when she got this record deal and, they started, getting attention, it changed not only her life, but her family's life. This is a story that a lot of the other women can relate to. And if 𝙀🐐 was there and she interacted with these women and kind of saw Felicia and Fallon for more than just them being quote unquote the twins and frickin' frack and the enemies and the people who are trying to take her spotlight, then maybe she would have been able to work with them more and actually show up in the studio, because her talking with them would let her know, hey, these women are just like me. There were Black women who wanted to have success in music, who had a passion for music, who had a passion for singing, and unfortunately, the cards didn't work the way that they hoped they would, but they still have passion for it, and they're still, like me, trying to perform, trying to, make a living, trying to do what they want to do. And they found it through songwriting, but they're still trying to, get their career off the ground. And if she saw it from that perspective rather than just frickin' frack taking opportunities from me, then I think that she would be able to participate in the group in a way better way. Lastly, we're going to talk about the dinner scene. So in the dinner scene, 𝙀🐐 goes for the women, and she's angry. She feels they're taking the opportunities. All they care about is them being on the group, them being in the album, them doing everything, and she goes off on them. But the issue with her going off on them is, like I said before, she had time to write a song. She had time to produce a song. Yet she chose not to. She ran from the task at hand, but she wants to talk mess about the people who actually showed up and did what they said they were going to do. And one of my issues with 𝙀🐐 is the fact that she keeps pretending that the girls only want themselves on the records. They wanted everybody on talking until Pam didn't want the word hoe to be used. And they always wanted other vocalists on Bird's Eye View. They just know that song isn't a song that everybody can sing, everyone has the vocal ability to do. And my last critique of 𝙀🐐 is 𝙀🐐 smokes, and I get that smoking is something that's very addictive. And obviously, if she's been smoking, she smoked probably way before these 30 days began. But I just feel like you cannot be wanting all the spotlight and all the attention, but running away from the task at hand and doing something that can be actively harming your voice. You know what I mean? So 𝙀🐐, that's all I've got for you. And next we're gonna go over the other people and other things that happen in the house. I do like 𝘎𝑗. I enjoy 𝘎𝑗's presence on the show, but I am starting to agree with people. It makes no sense to me that 𝘎𝑗 would sign on to the show and want to be the creative director, but not be given tasks or objectives to do. Because I do like what she did with Fallon and Felicia, where she was basically a runner, where if they need anything, she's going to help them. She's going to ask people to come to the studio. She's going to help them, lay down the vocals and stuff like that. And she's just going to basically be their assistant. They need water, whatever, she's going to be there. I like that she was making herself useful in that way. But in my opinion, I just feel like it would make more sense for her to be in the group. Like, I like her being on the show. I like her personality, but it's just like, sis, just please join the group. It makes more sense for you to join the group than for you not to be a part of it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, please, 𝘎𝑗, join the group, because otherwise, I really don't feel like your presence is needed on the show. Now let's get to Miss Aubrey, Miss O'Day. So I will be keeping it 100. Last episode, I was not feeling Aubrey because I didn't feel that the Pinterest board thing that she was doing was as legendary as the people were making it out to be. But when she was elected queen, I did like that she had a schedule put in place. She had all of the songs written down, and this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do. She had a very good vision of what to do. One thing I really liked was when Aubrey announced to everybody, hey, me and the twins, we're going to sing this, we're going to work on this in the studio, just so it wasn't like we're doing things behind people's back, which is why when 𝙀🐐 says stuff like, oh, they're just making it about them, I'm like, not really. Even though I was annoyed by Pam saying the homophobic stuff before, I actually didn't mind her too much in this episode. I like that she went with the choreographer and talked with her and said, hey, I want to, brush up on this stuff. I'm not the best at choreography, and I want to work on this. And this is something I want to ask y'all. Do y'all think that the way the show is set up, if you want a choreographer to come and work with you, if you want the vocal coach to come and work with you, you can just tell the producers and bada bing, bada boom, bada bum, they're here? Because that's what Pam just did. So I'm like, if people like 𝘠𝐺𝑚𝑒isha and Irish want to be competitive with the other singers and be included, I think it would make sense for them to reach out to the vocal coach and get some sessions going so that whatever they're not feeling they're good at, they can get better at. Because I think that's the issue I have with 𝘠𝐺𝑚𝑒isha. It's like, you want to be included and you want to be in the spotlight, but are you doing the work with your craft to make you somebody who would look good in the spotlight, or rather sound good in the spotlight? And I also saw the preview of Pam singing her gospel song, and that's my thing. There's literally a clip of Pam on the piano trying to, figure out how she wants the song to sound, and I have to give Pam credit because she's actually taking the initiative. She's doing what 𝘠𝐺𝑚𝑒isha could have done with the man song, but she's doing it by herself. Going back to Aubrey, I like Aubrey and I like her contributions. I was not a fan of her board, like I said before, but I did feel like she was actually doing a good job at being transparent as a leader and also making sure everyone was included. And even though she was being talked over, she did try to keep the peace at the dinner, which I appreciated. Now, people are speculating about Aubrey leaving the show because she wasn't in the promos. That's what people say, and they say she didn't get a promo interview, and she hasn't really been posting about the show. So I hope she doesn't leave the show because I want to hear more of her voice and her singing. I guess I'll just have to listen to her other projects. I do think she did try it at some of the times, and she was being, as they call, divisive, but I do think she's one of the people there who actually, I feel like, cares about the music. I feel like some of the people came kind of like what one of the twins said, for an experiment. Some of these people came to come, and I feel like Aubrey came to actually get a project off the ground, actually have something that's quality. So if she leaves because she feels like stuff isn't working, I don't blame her, because it makes no sense that these grown women can't do the basic task of 5 songs. It's like some of y'all want to enter, or rather re-enter, the music industry, and it's like you can't get the most basic tasks done. And here's my thing. There are some people who hate each other's guts, who are in these girl groups or boy bands, or just in different music groups. They could hate each other's guts. One of them could have literally slept with the other person's partner. But when it's time to make the music, all of that goes aside. And we make the music, we make the record because that's our livelihood and that's what we care about. It's about the music, it's not about this, it's not about that. And maybe after the session, we can talk about that, but at this moment, it's about the music. I liked Irish, as I said before, with her sharing her story. I think Irish is just kind of showing up. Even though Irish isn't the strongest vocalist, she's showing up and she's doing what she needs to do, and I appreciate that. I enjoyed Nivea, and I like that Nivea does have that comedic relief where she is not going to make things worse. She's always going to be the person who tries to calm the situation down. I actually really am starting to like the twins because I'm someone who is very passionate about music and, working my craft, developing my craft, and seeing people who have that passion, who are working in the industry and who are actually doing these things and who have that passion. Because here's my thing. I think we've all seen those young people who had that passion and that fire in them when they were, 17, 18, 19, 20. But, life hits them, things don't go the way they want, and you never hear from them again. And, they stop doing music because things didn't work out the way they wanted to. But with Felicia and Fallon, I really see that fighting spirit in them. And I feel like I have that fighting spirit in me, so I identify with them a lot. And I just want to give them credit for sharing these songs. I will agree, yes, them having production credits and writing on these songs and being heavily featured with the vocals is going to do good for them in their reach. Because if one of these songs performs really well, if it's posted on the Shade Room, people are going to be like, who are those voices? Who are those women singing? And look them up, and it's going to benefit them. But here's my thing. I think it's a win-win situation because they're good at what they do. They make good music, so they get the benefit of getting that attention, and the other women get the benefit of they couldn't write, or they couldn't write like that, and they get to be on songs that sound good, and they also get to sound good. Now let's get to Miss 𝘎𝑀arie. I do enjoy 𝘎𝑀arie's presence on the show, and I think she is great at singing. However, one thing I will say is I do think what she's giving, and I've heard that she's on other reality TV shows. I'm not the most well-watched reality TV show person, but I've heard she's on other reality shows. So I feel like once you've been on a reality show and watched yourself back, you kind of learn, hey, I may do this next time, I may not do this time. So I feel like with 𝘎𝑀arie, she's very much giving enough where she's there, but she's not causing conflict. And I enjoy that she's not causing conflict, but I do feel like she does kind of annoy me because and I've seen a lot of other people say this, she has all the stuff to say with Lamisha of, yeah, you better check them, you better tell them, sis, you better da-da-da. But then I've literally never seen her defend Lamisha and say, yeah, Lamisha is not getting the shine she wants. Y'all need to stop this. And that's my thing. I feel like 𝘎𝑀arie knows, because I think that's the thing. Like, when you've got the talent, you know that you're not going to be in this position where you don't want to be. Nivea and 𝘎𝑀arie, in my opinion, never come off as insecure or upset about their placements because their voice speaks for itself, and they know their voice is going to take them where it needs them to go. Felicia and Fallon respect their vocal talent, and so they're going to put them in songs in a way that makes them shine, because 𝘎𝑀arie and Nivea shining makes the group shine. But there's just something about 𝘎𝑀arie. I just feel like she's giving so little in the main episodes, and she's giving so much to, like, Lamisha. And I feel like if you really do rock with Lamisha, you need to defend her, and you need to do it publicly, because otherwise you're just gassing her up every time she feels insecure and making her look like Boo Boo the Fool every single time she has an outburst. And lastly, as we close this video out, I want to say that something that does bother me as well is the fact that whenever Fallon and Felicia typically brag on themselves is in response to somebody else. One of the things that one of them said in their live, I really need to learn them apart, but the one who made the live, she said something along the lines of, somebody said that y'all were broke, that 𝘎𝑒rish was broke, and that's why she said the line about, oh, well, my sister just became a millionaire 2 days ago. And on this episode, it was right after she was attacked by Lamisha that she said something along the lines of, well, we just got a double platinum record, or, I'll give the songs to Bieber and Ariana. And while I do feel they can just let their accomplishments speak for themselves, I do think it's annoying that we always, and by we I mean a lot of the people who watch the show, will attack them for bragging on themselves, but they won't actually acknowledge the fact that the person who they were speaking to was trying to make them feel less than. And also, too, not to get on a soapbox, but sometimes it does annoy me when because here's the thing, we all know that there's this stereotype of the angry black woman. And I'm like, some of y'all are literally holding on to stuff from episode 1. And I do feel like the twins do have an attitude in certain ways, and I do think that they say some things they shouldn't, or rather in ways that they shouldn't. And if people want to call that out, I think that's cool. But I do think some people are holding on to this, the twins are just evil and hateful and shady with the worst attitudes I've ever seen. And it's just like, I thought that we were over the angry black woman stereotype. And I think that if you watch the show carefully, you'll see they're more than just anger and an attitude. They're people who have goals and who want to get those goals accomplished in a timely manner. And I do wonder, like, a lot of people have suggested that season 2 of this show be men in R&B, like men from male boy bands, boy groups. And one of the things I wonder is if next season there's a man who talks, and some of the stuff that they did say was shady, I'm not gonna lie, but like, if a man comes in here with like self-assuredness and confidence, and I can do this, and yeah, I've been in the business, and etc., is he gonna get the same amount of scrutiny that the twins are? I want y'all to keep that same energy, but those are my thoughts on this episode. Let me know what y'all thought. Let me know if you enjoyed the episode. Let me know if y'all agree with what I said. Thanks so much for watching. Love y'all. Bye-bye. Below, like this video if you like this video. If you made it to this point in the video, comment a thumbs up emoji below, or still here if you are still here. Subscribe if you want to see more, and make sure to hit that bell so you're the first to know when I upload new content. I upload new content every week. And if you're enjoying yourself, and why wouldn't you be enjoying yourself? To the left, there's a playlist of all my video essay podcasts. I have 24 and counting. In the center is a button to subscribe if you just haven't had a chance to subscribe and you would like to. And to the right is a playlist of all of my covers and parodies. So if you are wanting to check those out, feel free to do so. And if you want to support me, if you want to support the show, first and foremost, a non-financial way you can support is just through sharing this video. I can make the thumbnails, I can, make the titles, I can do the tags and do keyword research. One of the best ways that I can grow my brand is through y'all sharing this content with other people who like this type of content, because I nor you can control the algorithm, but I can control the quality of the content I make, and y'all can, if you enjoy the content, share with people who can like it, so that way, if y'all are feeling it, it's getting put out there, whether, the algorithm favors it or not. Somebody's gonna see it because you resonated with it and you resonated with me, and now you're sharing it with other people. So if that's a non-financial way you can support the channel, and if you do want to support the channel financially, my Cash App is linked in the description of this video. I'm trying to, upgrade my production quality and just, keep growing and expanding and, doing bigger and better. So if you want to help and support that vision, feel free to do so. All those who donate to the channel will be featured in the credits of all of my videos on both of my channels. Thanks so much for watching. Love you all. Bye-bye. See you next time.